on, YouTube fam? This is your boy J Money here, and we are bringing you guys a combo tutorial for 6 Samurais because, yeah, I made a community post a while ago and promised that there would be a combo tutorial as to how we make this big board. Now, for those of you who don't know, I made a community post regarding 6 Samurais and the kind of boards they can put up. Now, that very same day, or actually, I took the picture at, 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and went to the locals the following Saturday. So, yep, and I got first place, so, you know, goes to show that the deck is consistent, but, you know, don't get it twisted. There is still the big choke point of Great General float around. So, what kind of board can we really put up, though? What can we really do? So, those of you who haven't seen the post, you can put up a legendary 6 Samurai Shien, which is the level 5 synchro, Naturi Beast, Varkion, Appaloosa for 4 materials, and Utopic Zexal. So, that's really strong. Now, I have had a couple comments regarding why don't I just play an FTK. Now, I choose not to play FTKs because 1, I don't like FTKs. I don't really favor them. 2, an FTK is a lot easier to stop once people know you're playing an FTK. So if all hands on deck, if all hand traps are reserved for whatever you're trying to FTK with, being Amazon's Archer or Cannon Soldier, you're not looking too good because you're dedicating some extra deck slots to get to those pieces. You're probably dedicating the rank 4 Math Mech and whatnot. And so since Great General, you could also extra link too, but I don't want to really do that either because it is also incredibly fragile to Super Poly. Now, you know, you've probably seen some of Asianized videos regarding some of the 6M crazy extra link boards that you can make, but little do people know Duplex Chimera is another Super Poly target that can break that board. Now, of course, Duplex Chimera isn't being played right now, but, you know, when we get Adagnisters and things like that, you know, it may start to see some sort of play, and if that happens, Duplex Chimera breaks that extra link board. If you're trying to make double Tri-Gate Wizard, you can all, and at that point you would think, okay, I don't want to do that, I'll just commit a Guy Saber up to the top, since Guy Saber's a machine. But the problem with that is, well, they can fuse off your Guy Saber and your a Tri-Gate into a Mud Dragon, because one's a machine and one's a Cyberse, and they're both Earth monsters. So, you know, yeah, you can sit here and not commit any darks, or all but one dark to the board, but, you know, the extra link board is still very easily hit by Super Poly if they're playing the right cards. So I don't choose to do that either. We're just going to make an unbeatable board. Extra links were never unbeatable in the first place. Any kaiju can basically break an extra link board, but this right here, we don't have to matter. So there's 2 ways to pull this combo off. 1, you need both a Kageki and a Kizaru in your hand, or you need a way to put 2 6Ms on board and 1 card that can hold a Bushido counter. So let's see what we are looking like. Alright, so here we go. We got exactly what we need. So let's go ahead and start off with our Dojo and our United. Now I'm actually going to need dice for this. Alright. And the main objective, you have to focus on 2 things. 1, accessing and resolving Great General or Battle Shogun, and 2, getting your infinite Bushido counter loop going. Once you do that, then you can set up your board. So let's go ahead and activate our Rhoda, and we'll add a Kaigeki. It's never a bad thing to have more 6 Samurais. The last thing you really want is to be able to have Great General and no extender in your hand, no way to summon another 6 Samurai, so yeah. So let's go ahead and summon our Kaigeki. That's going to put a counter on Dojo and United, and we are going to use Kaigeki's effect and special summon Amazuho. That puts 2 counters on Dojo and United. Now granted, remember United has a has a counter limit, so you know you got to keep that in mind. But we're not going to get the draw 2 because we really want to keep these counters here. You want to have as many counters on the board as possible when you get access to Gateway, because you're really going to need those counters early to start stacking more counters, because as you can see, we don't have too many monsters that we can work with. So our Isolde is going to search us another Kaigeki since it's already lived out its usefulness. We're going to go ahead and use Isolde's effect, where you're going to send one monster. Normally, if you open Kaigeki Kizaru, you would want to summon Hatsume, because honestly, Hatsume can really bail you out. If you have no other Samurai Extenders, it can act as one and summon another Sam and put just enough counters to really get your stuff going. So we're going to send one. But since you didn't open Kaigeki Kizaru, you're going to summon Fuma. Now, granted, if I had chosen to summon Kizan earlier, I would summon Sheehan Squire right now. But we have Dojo, so we don't need to worry about it. But Sheehan Squire is one of your main pieces. It is one of your main ways to make this board. You know, to make the board, you need to access Sheehan Squire. Hands down, no questions asked. So this reached its limit. So we'll go ahead and put counters on Dojo, and we'll go ahead and make our first Great General. Now that puts a 4th counter on our Dojo, and now we're going to use Great General's effect. We're going to discard our search target, and we're going to add our Gateway up to 6. Alright, so now that we got our Gateway activated, now the fun can begin. So we're going to go ahead and remove 2 counters from United so we can actually start stacking more counters on it, and 2 counters off of Dojo. You can remove the counters from anywhere, so you can add a 6 Samurai from deck to hand. So we will go ahead and add another Kaizen or Kizan. I remember I got crucified last time I said Kaizen, but I'm so used to calling it that, but whatever. Let's go ahead and summon our Kaizen into the field now. Now, remember, Great General can only stack counters on himself if a 6M is summoned to one of his zones. So, there's 1 here, 2 here, and another 1 for our 6M United. And we'll go ahead and summon the second one. That puts 2 counters on General. And that will... we need to put 4 counters, or 2 more counters on Dojo. And this will add add 4 counters onto Gateway. So now we're going to go ahead and immediately remove 2 and remove 2, so we can go ahead and add ourselves a Grandmaster. So we're going to need access to this at some point, but may as well be now. So now we're going to go and overlay immediately, and we're going to make our Shadow the 6 Samurai Shien. It's okay. It's just another way to cheat more counters without having to search another card. So that's 5. That's going to be 6 on Gateway, 1 and 1. Now we're going to remove 1 and 1, and we're going to remove 2 from Gateway. And we will go ahead and search out a Kizan, and we're going to go ahead and summon our Grandmaster. That's going to do 1 and 1 again. 1, 1. This is going to be now at 6, and this is going to be also at 6. And we're going to special summon a Kizan to the field. That is going to put us another 2 counters on Gateway, another 1 counter on Dojo, 2nd on United, and 2nd on our Great General. Now we're going to go ahead and remove 2 and 2. And this is where we're going to need to start searching out red and blues. So we'll go and search 1 blue, and we'll go ahead and remove, I guess, 4 more counters. So that's 8. This goes down to 4. And we will search, let's see, what's in our grave? We'll just search another blue because we got red in our graveyard already. Oh, wait, there you go. So we got 2 blues and red. So we have everything we need for our infinite Bushido counter combo. So let's go ahead and link 4 into our Saryuja Skull Dread. It really doesn't matter what we draw. So we're not going to pick up any cards. All we care about is establishing our board. So we're going to remove 4. So this 7, 4, that puts us at 3. And we are going to add our Mizuho from our graveyard hand. We'll use Saryuja's effect, and we will special summon one or the other. It doesn't matter. So that puts what, 2 here. Put this at 4. Puts this at 1. And we'll go ahead and special summon our Mizuho since we control the blue. So, alright, so now we're set up. So, for those of you who don't know how this infinite Bushido counter works, you need a gateway and another way to stack Bushido counters. And you need at least 2 blues and a red or 2 reds and a blue. And how the cycle works, this is already full. So, these 2 are going to be the little card stacking counters. How this works, you're going to end up having to use Mizuho to tribute Shinai and pop the Mizuho. So in doing this, first off, you summon 2 monsters. So, well, let's go ahead and pretend like we don't have anything going on right now. So we'll tribute our Shinai, we'll pop our Mizuho. Now that's going to have us use Shinai's effect when it's tributed. You can add a 6 Sams from grave to hand other than itself. So we'll add back the red, and we'll remove 4 counters and grab this. So since Gateway automatically stacks 2 counters per 6 Sam you summon, you're automatically going to gain those 4 counters back. But since you have another card that stacks counters, you're always going to be going positive on your counters. So that's how the infinite Bushido counter combo works, because Mizuho is not once per turn, and you can just keep doing it. Now, if you're in a tournament, I believe you are required to say exactly how many times you're going to do this, because you cannot do it for the full 40 minutes to stall the clock. You can't do that. So you have to call a number. So let's say if you just have Gateway and one other card like Dojo or Temple, which is a field spell to stack counters, if I said I plan to do this 200 times, I will have 400 counters. Because for every 4 counters you're removing, you are gaining 6 counters. So you're always getting 2 counters per cycle. So if I say I'm doing this 400 times, I'm going to get 800 counters. So we're going to go ahead and just say, hey, I'm doing this 400 times. So I have 800 counters. So at this point, I can just remove the Dojo. But before I go ahead and do that, let's go ahead and make our rebariance chart. And we'll just remove the Dojo and summon Sheehan Squire from the deck. You can summon a 6 Sam or Sheehan effect monster. So the Sheehan Squire was there. Now, had we not have opened Dojo, we would have just had to go through multiple Saryujas. And after we did our Infinite Bushido counter combo, drew off United and stuff like that, and basically just keep on digging until we get into Sheehan Squire or get into a Dojo. One of those two. So we now have 4 monsters on the board. So we're going to go and make, oh look, another Saryuja. It's fine, it's okay. So Saryuja's going to be Chain Link 1, and as you guys know about Rebarian Shark as you watch this channel, it lets you stack a rank of magic to the top of your deck, but it doesn't matter what else we're drawing. We don't have any cards in our hand, so we're going to draw 4 and literally bottom deck the other 3 cards. So look at that, we'll just put it back to the bottom. We're going to keep the rank up magic in our hand. Now we have so many counters to the point to where we don't know what to do with them all, so we're just going to make a board with them. So now we're going to use Gateway's effect, and we're going to remove 4 counters, and we're going to add keys on hand, and we're going to use Saryuja's effect because this is a new copy, and special summon the Kaizen. And now that we have a 6 Sam, we can get started. We can remove 6. Gateway's third effect is seldomly ever used, but with Great General, now we can actually start using it. So for those of you who don't know, the third effect, you can remove 6 counters to target a Sheehan effect monster in the graveyard and special summon it. And Sheehan Squire just so happens to fit that description. So we can synchro summon into a Sheehan Synchro monster. Now the fun really starts to begin because now we have a solidified 6 Samurai always on the board, so we can always get access to our Grandmasters and our Kizan. So we're going to remove 4 counters, and we're going to grab Grandmaster to our hand. We're going to summon the Grandmaster, and we're going to remove 6 counters to target a Sheehan effect monster in the graveyard once again, and special summon it. Now, we have an Earth tuner and an Earth non-tuner, and Grandmaster's a level 5. Sheehan Squire is a level 1, so we can synchro into our Naturia Barkion, just in case our opponent wants to save an impermanence for something important. We can go ahead and stop that in its tracks. So, alright, now what we're going to do is make our Appaloosa. So, what we are going to do is we are going to remove 4 counters to grab Keyzon from our hand. Special summon it since we control 6 Sam. We're going to remove another 4 counters to grab Grandmaster, and also special summon it. And we're going to remove 6 counters to target a Sheehan effect monster on the grave and special summon her. We could have done that, or we could have summoned Sheehan Squire. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is we have enough materials to make Appaloosa for 4 materials. Alright, so what you're going to do now is you're going to use Gateway again, and you're going to add Keyzon back to your hand, and you're going to special summon it. Since you still control 6 Samurai, you're going to remove 6 counters to target a Sheehan effect monster in your grave, and special summon it. Now you're going to synchro for your Naturia Beast. And now you're just going to remove 8 counters from Gateway. You're going to grab a 6 Sam to your grave twice. You're just going to grab 2 copies of Keyzon from your grave to your hand. And you are going to summon them both, since you still control a 6 Samurai monster. Hey look, 2 level 4 monsters. Let's go and overlay and make our Utopia. Hey, and look, we made Rebarian Shark earlier in the turn and drew this rank up magic off Saryuja. So, guess what that makes? You guessed it, Utopic Zexal. Now, that is how you make this really strong, unbeatable board. So, you have to have some extremely niche cards to really break this board. I'm talking, you need a XYZ Encore on draw face for Zexal, and then you need a Super Poly for these 2 for a Mud Dragon, and then on top of all of that, you need a Lava Golem or a Sphere Mode, and this negged about 4 to 5 cards out of hand, and all this. So, all of that, and at the end of the day, you still may not have a game, because, keep in mind, I play 3 copies of, I don't just play set rotation, but I'm playing Midbreaker Field, and I'm also playing, Temple of the Six. So if I manage to have gotten into Temple, or if I've managed to, gotten into set rotation, doing the infinite Bushido counter combo, you know, at this point, I have Temple on the board, I don't die, and I still have a bunch of counters on Gateway and Temple to where I can just re-combo you. I can just make Daigasso Emerald and shuffle key cards back into my extra deck and do the infinite Bushido counter again, pump up one of my Sam monsters to above, I don't know, 15,000 and just one-shot my opponent. So again, even with, you have to have like super niche, extremely specific cards to out this board, and even then so, you still would just lose the game outright from there. So, yeah, I know a lot of people ask, why not just FTK your opponent? This is honestly more consistent, and I don't want to play the Math Mech only for it to get hand trapped. Not just that, again, FTKs are easier to deal with once your opponent is aware that there is an FTK. And, you know, you guys that watch this channel, we love to just make boards instead. Making boards is so much more fun than to just burn your opponent's life points down to 0. So, yeah, guys, deck profile will be coming up basically right after this. So, yeah, let me know what you guys' thoughts on this unbeatable board, 6 Samurais and everything. So, I'm also going to be looking online to see if any 6 Samurais ended up doing anything this past weekend. You know, to see if, you know, people are either know what they're doing, or if this deck is really that glass cannon like I have described, you know, last week. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This is J Money, and I am signing out.